Welcome back to another episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host, Kungo Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Wednesday for another amazing episode. Before I get onto today's episode, I'm going to give a disclaimer because you're going to hear noises in the background, and they're not like just my wall clock. There's a neighbor, I don't know what they're doing. It's like they've put some music, they're watching TV, and the volume is very high, and it's already like 1:06 a.m. So I don't know what they're doing. I can hear it in my house, meaning it will probably be heard on this recording. So if you hear it, please forgive me. It's not in my house. It's not noise like in my background. It's just noise in my neighbor's house. And as I said I don't know what episode, like I cannot go and knock on my neighbor's doors and tell them to keep it down. So I just have to push through because I can't wait. I need to sleep after recording this. So I have to do it. And then after that, I have to go to bed. So if you hear the noise, please bear with me. And yeah, let's enjoy today's episode. So on today's episode, I want to talk about the Kenyan, I think it's a rom-com called Inside Job. I've spoken about this movie before, like I don't know, the previous cycle. So that was, I think it was in June when it came out, or was it July? I don't know. I don't remember when it actually came out, but when it did, I spoke about it and I said that I had watched it that day and I laughed so hard. I think it was in June because that's when I last watched like properly, when I was like filming for the shows that came up in July. So yeah, it must have been in June when it came out. So I watched it then when it came out and I loved it so much. I laughed so hard, but then I'd already pre-recorded every episode that was supposed to go out last month, so I couldn't do it then, and I told you that I was going to do it in August. So this is the first Kenyan movie in August, and yeah, we are doing it and I'm happy. Actually, is it the first? Yeah, it is the first in August. So yeah, Inside Job. Inside Job is a 2025 rom-com written by Angela Ruhinda and directed by Tosh Gitonga. I think the credit scenes, like Jackie VK Mamito and someone else were also involved somehow in the creation of it. But yeah, it was written by Angela Ruhinda and directed by Tosh Gitonga. Anybody else who participated in creating this beautiful movie, well, I give them their props as well. Congratulations. It was a lovely movie. It was funny and I loved it. So the cast members include Jackie VK, she plays Wambui. Eunice Mamito plays Tracy. Elias Moshkwani plays Ravi. Shiksha Arora plays Ria, that is Ravi's sister. But in the credit scenes, she's credited as Fiona. So I'm not sure why they wrote that. So yeah, because they called her Ria in the movie, but in the credit scene, it's Fiona. So I don't know who is making the mistake, but I think it's the person who wrote that. So I don't know why they credited her as Fiona, because she was Ria. Or maybe that's her name as well, I don't know. Irene Karaoke plays Patricia, that is Wamboi's mom. Mehul Savani plays Mr. Carrier. Dominic Mutemi Musioka plays Charles, that's the watchman at Mr. Carrier's home. Isaac Jemedari plays Molly. Mariam Jawad plays Priyanka. Roni Mugendi Karaoke plays Miano. Kieran Ratanya plays Brayo, he's the Jabba guy, amongst other cast members. Now, if you love spoilers like me, please continue listening to this or watching this. But if you do not like, please leave, go to Netflix, watch the movie and come back and listen to this and tell me if you agree with me or if you don't, because this is your official spoiler alert. Okay? Now, Inside Job follows two cousins, that is Wambui and Tracy, played by Jackie VK and Mamito respectively. They also pretend to be Tyra and Iman. It starts with them, the cousins. Wambui is interviewing for a job as a chef. So she's a chef who's not employed. So she's interviewing for a job. She's cooking, blah, blah, blah. And then afterwards, we see Mamito. She's just from work and she's meeting this guy in a restaurant. This man is old, like old. This man is shaking all over and everything. And Mamito is apparently his date. So she's on the phone with Wamboi and they're talking and Wamboi is asking her where she is and she explains like, yeah, I'm going on a date. And she says date in Swahili. So she's going on a date with this man and she tells that to Wamboi, and so Wamboi of course makes fun of her and the kind of men that she dates. But yeah, it's a very funny scene. You should see it. Like Mamito talking to that guy, like Tracy talking to that old guy. Like it was just so funny. Like this woman Mamito cracks me up. It was a funny scene. So anyway, on the other side, Wamboi's mom, this is Patricia, she works at Mr. Carrier's home. Mr. Carrier is Ravi and Ria's father. And so she works there as a house manager. And so Mr. Carrier is about to leave and he's looking for his cufflinks and he finds that they are missing. So he calls for her and when she comes in, he says that his cufflinks are missing and she's the thief and he fires her on the spot, which was very, very unfair. Like you should do like, you should try to check and see if that's the truth or not, investigate a little bit. Don't just fire somebody because you speculate or you feel like they're the ones who stole, because that house does not have only her. There are other three employees. There's Muli, who is like, I don't know, the driver or whatever. And then there's the watchman. So there are other people in that house as well. So you can't just fire somebody because you think that they're the ones who stole from you because they're the ones who deal with their clothes. No. Other people have access to your house as well. So anyway, she's fired and she leaves. So Amboy is getting home and she overhears the mom talking on the phone. She was asking for her pension from Mr. Carrier. And they're like, yeah, so no, you're not going to be getting your pension. So she's like, it's over 100,000. But yeah, they say no. So she sits there and Wamboy overhears and then she waits for her cousin Tracy to come home and they talk about it and Tracy goes like, we are going to go there. So they go to Mr. Carrier's home. The watchman refuses to let them in, but they lie and they get in. They try to talk to Mr. Carrier. Mr. Carrier chases them away. So they leave and Tracy comes up with a plan to go back to the home and, steal from Mr. Carrier and then leave without hurting anybody. So there's this montage of how they're going to go, blah, blah, blah. As she talks, it's happening, nini, nini. And then they actually, they actualize the plan where they go. And when they check through the fence, they see that there's a party going on. So, there's a comical scene there as well. You should watch it to see what it was. But then Wamboi goes like, I have a plan, a way for us to get in. So they go and they change their clothes and wear saris and stuff and they do like makeup, how Indians do, and they go back to the gate. They try to go in, but the askari, of course, he says no. And then they trick him by using another guy, the Jabba guy, who speaks Indian. And I know it's not Indian because India has a couple of different tribes, but I've forgotten. Was it Gujarati? I don't think it was Gujarati. I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but that. So she speaks that to him and she tells him to trick the watchman to say that, yeah, they're supposed to be let in. He does the thing and he allows them in because he thinks that that's the boss, Mr. Carrier. So they go in and they lie to Ria, who's the one who opens the door, and they're like, yeah, we're here because we're Ravi's friends from high school. So they start talking. Ravi comes because he's supposed to, it's his party because he's come back to Kenya after studying abroad. And so he meets them and there's this look between him and Wamboi. And they start like they're flirting with their eyes and all that. Wamboi is getting all blushy and everything. And so they start vibing. That is Wamboy and Ravi. And this other one, like Tracy was just like messy. But anyway, eventually they got what they wanted. So Tracy tells the group that she is an executive chef and one boy is a sous chef. So there's this other woman, I've said her name but I've forgotten. Um, she used to date Ravi before Ravi went abroad, but then she was also sleeping with Ravi's friend, which was weird and wrong. So she's the one who's like trying to put them down and stuff. And she tells Tracy, who's now changed his name to a man, that if she's an executive chef, then she should cook them something. And so they decide to go to the kitchen, all of them. And so this is a plan between Tracy and Wamboi. And Tracy tells Wamboi, like, yeah, we are going to be in the kitchen. Like, everybody is going to be in the kitchen. So you can go upstairs and start looking because they decide to go and steal. So she tells her to go and check inside the house, in the bedrooms, and she'll get whatever they came there for. So she goes with everybody to the kitchen, and there's a comical moment there as well. Go and watch it. And so she eventually calls Wamboi to ask her what she's supposed to do. Like, who doesn't know how to cook pasta, surely? Like, kuchemsha tu maji, yani weka hizo vitu ndani. But anyway, so she asks, and Wamboi tells her what to do. She comes back and cooks. And so Wamboi, on the other hand, is upstairs in Mr. Carrier's bedroom. She's trying to, go through his things. But then Ravi walks in because he had gone upstairs to change his shirt as well. And so he sees the light on or the door open. I don't know what he saw, but he went into the room and found Wamboi. She was startled, but she hadn't taken anything yet. She pretends she wants to use the bathroom. And then she goes like, bathroom, I want to susu. And I was like, why do you have to add that you want to susu? That's TMI. Like, you don't have to tell anybody that you want to susu. Just ask for the freaking bathroom and they'll tell you where it is. So anyway, Ravi tells her where it is and she goes in there. That's where she talks on the phone with Tracy, by the way. And so she comes back out and they start talking with Ravi. So they talk and talk and talk, and Ravi goes like, do you want a drink? They go back downstairs, they do all these things. So there's this dance scene that happens. It's an Indian song and the ladies who are dancing are Indians. I appreciate it, but I felt like, why? It wasn't preempted. It wasn't it was just like, these guys are upstairs and they are talking. Then the next moment, these guys are dancing outside. And I was like, okay, Bollywood. Okay. Sawa sawa. But then they did a good thing because Shiksha Arora, she knows how to dance. That babe is amazing at dancing. So yeah, so they dance and then the party continues the whole time. Tracy, after cooking for everybody and them tasting and them liking the food, she goes and starts looking for what they came there for. But then Muli finds her. And when he does, he takes her and goes downstairs. There's a place behind the house there where he tied her up and was like, umekuja kufanya nini huku, like unatafuta nini, blah blah blah, and all of these things. And she's like, mimi ni kama mtoto wako nihurumie. And all of these things. I was like, yo, not everybody values children. And that man was the thief, by the way. So anyway, so they do this whole thing and he ties her there. So somehow one boy finds a way to leave because Muli came to look for Ravi to tell him what was happening because he wanted to call the police. But then Wamboi found a way to escape Ravi for a while. So she starts calling Tracy and Tracy's not answering. So eventually she finds her tied at the back of the house. So she helps her escape and they go back upstairs and they go and steal. So on their way out, you remember the guy, the Jabba guy that Tracy spoke to at the gate? So she had invited them to the party. And so they called Wamboi and Wamboi was like, yeah, you come in, and she gave them the location. So they showed up. So those guys, while they were arriving, Wamboi and Tracy were stealing. And so as they are trying to leave, they meet the guys at the gate. And so the guys go in and Ravi is like, hey, you guys are leaving already. Why don't you go back in and dance? And so they follow him inside and those guys are dancing. They changed the song to Gengeton. And by the way, when they walked in, that other lady was like, oh my God, thieves, blah, blah, blah. And so, but then they came calmly and they joined in the party and they started dancing after they changed the song. And yeah, so everybody was happy dancing, blah, blah, blah. Then Tracy comes up with an excuse and she's like, yeah, we have to leave. One boy's mom, she's sick and she's pretending to cry. And she's like, one boy's mom is sick with the shillings, like my shilling. And so she pulls one boy away, and Ravi is left there wondering, what is my shillings? Because exactly what is that? So they leave and they go and they have stolen a lot, by the way. Did I mention, by the way, when they came into the home at the beginning of the movie to talk to Mr. Carrier, Tracy stole the carrier's dog like a puppy. She stole it. And so they have it where they live in Karioko. So anyway, this is the second time they've stolen from there, and they've stolen all this jewelry and stuff. And one boy is like, I thought you were only going to take money. And she's like, yeah. But then while I was doing all of this work, you're busy flirting with, Ravi. So I didn't know like that you love like, Asians and stuff. So it was just a comical scene as well. But then they are like, we are never going to talk about this. So they agree. The next day, they give the money to Amboy's mom. And they're like, yeah, Ravi gave us. So Amboy explains to the mom, like, do you remember Ravi? Yeah, he's the one who gave us the money to give it to you when he heard about what happened. So the mom is like, okay, but he was in London. How are they using dollars in Europe? And Tracy goes like, yeah, Biden and the Queen, I don't know, they decided to use one currency, and that is the US dollar. And the mom just agrees. I'm like, hey, okay. So anyway, they talk about that, and then they move to the next scene. So Ravi on the other side, that he's woken up because there's a moment where Tracy fell into the pool by accident, and so her sari was drenched, and Ravi offered to give her some of his clothes to wear, and so she left her saris at the house. So the sister Ria comes and wakes him up and throws the sari on him and goes like, "Yo, wake up! Dad is about to arrive. The house, blah blah blah. We need to do one, two, three." So Ravi gets changed and everything. He goes into the dad's bedroom and he finds that the things are scattered, the drawers are open and left that way, blah blah blah. And so he calls the sister, who walks in. She finds the place like that, and so she runs to the safe, and the safe has been opened and the money is gone. So they're like, okay, what is happening? The dad arrives, they panic, she runs away. He's left there trying to talk to the dad, but then she comes back in, that is Ria, and tells the dad, just follow me. They go and they find in Molly's SQ underneath the bed. That's where all the things he's been stealing are. Like, he's been putting everything he's been stealing under his bed. And so that's where everything is. And I was like, that's a stupid guy. Like, why would you put them under the bed? And it's gold and I don't know, all these expensive things. I know most bosses do not go to the SQ, but yo, it's just crazy to do. And they weren't even like, covered or anything. They were just there. So anyway, they know now that he's the one who's been stealing. And so Ravi and Ria, they go to look for Mama Omboi at her place. Somehow they knew where she lived. And so they go there to tell her about the news and to tell her that she is welcome to go back to work at the house again. So when they arrive, of course, she's happy to see them. She hugs both of them and she calls them my children and everything. Because, yeah, once you raise a child, even if you are the staff, you somehow just feel like, yeah, you're a parent to them and stuff. And so she goes like, I'm so grateful for what you did, Ravi. Like, one boy told me about the money. You helped out so much. And I'm so grateful. She's so happy and praising him and everything. And he's like, oh, one boy, the money. Oh, okay. He doesn't, but to his credit, he didn't like, snitch on them. He was just like, okay. And so he's like, Mama is here. Yeah, she's here. Let me call her. And so my boy calls her and she comes and she sees that it's Ria and Ravi. And she poses and she's like, oh, okay. And so the mom, Tracy walks in her scrubs because she's a nurse, remember? So she walks in and she sees them and she goes on her knees and, surrendering. And Ravi even laughs. And so Ria goes like, what? She stands up and runs away. And Ria is calling her like, man. And she runs after her. So one boy's mom goes like, I'm going to make you some tea. So she leaves and goes to the kitchen. And then I don't know how they switched places somehow because the mom went into the kitchen. These kids were left in the living room, but then they talk for a little bit. And one boy goes like, yeah, I'm a chef. Are you sure? Yes, I am a chef. For real? Yeah. Show me. Ugh. And I'm like, okay. So they go into the kitchen where the mom is supposed to be, but she wasn't. So sijui kama alienda jikoni and she found that there was no milk and she went to buy it. I don't know. But yeah, so these guys go to the kitchen and the mom is not there. So she makes him an omelette and tastes it. And yeah, they continue talking a little bit. He asked her if she wants to continue being, they had been playing Would You Rather. And so he goes like, would you rather continue being Tyra, because that's the name she was using at the party, and never get to see me again? Or would you rather be one boy and, blah, 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 blah. So she says, I think she says one boy or something, I don't know. And so they end up kissing in the kitchen and the mom walks in on them and she goes like, seriously? It was a funny little moment. And then she leaves the kitchen. So the kids, they're embarrassed, they laugh, they giggle, blah, blah, blah. And then they go outside to meet Tracy and Ria. And so she goes outside, that is one boy, and says hi to Ria. And they're there, they're drinking a little bit of alcohol. I don't know where she had gotten the alcohol from, but yeah, Tracy was serving her some alcohol. And so they say some things to each other and they laugh. And then Womboy and Ravi kiss again. And that's basically the end of the movie. And then after that, people come from nowhere and they start dancing again. It was a beautiful song that was playing. I won't deny them that. It was a beautiful song. But yeah, I was like, what is this ending? So I loved it. I loved the characters, but I had a problem with, that group that came in later to dance. Yeah, the Jabba group. One of them said a line, and you could tell that he wasn't an actor. So it's like it's a friend of Akinatosh or something, and he was told to just come and say a line. I mean, yeah, he wasn't an actor. And even the way he said that line, he said it like, I don't know, it wasn't acting. There's a way it didn't sound natural, let me say that. But anyway, the other people who were acting, some of them, this was their first time acting. Mamito, I think this was her first time acting, but she held her own. She did a good job. I don't know if Elias Mushkwani has acted before, but he did a good job. I also think that this was Shiksha's first time acting. Like most of the cast members in this show, it was their first time acting. But then there are also familiar faces. That's Jackie VK, Irene Karaoke, that Jabba guy, even Muli. I think I've seen him in another television show before. So some of them were like veterans in the acting industry in Kenya, but some of them this was their first time doing it. But I loved it. They did a pretty decent job. The chemistry between Ravi and Wambui was good. It was on point. I loved it. Like you could see it from the moment they first met. It was there. The chemistry between Mamito and and Jackie's always been on point. Like they're just hilarious together. They're chaotic, but very, very hilarious together. Everybody else just synced in well. There was this guy. I think I said his name when I was starting the review, but Ravi's friend that was sleeping with Ravi's ex-girlfriend, that guy, also his acting, I don't know. I'm not so sure about it. I didn't like it very much. But anyway, he tried his best. The comic moments, they were, hey, yo, this movie is funny. It's Mamito and it's Jackie VK. So you can understand how funny they are. These people are funny on their own. But when they come together, as I said, it's chaotic. So go and watch this movie and you'll laugh from the beginning of the movie to the end of it because every moment is just funny. All of their reactions. Mamito's timing is just The best. I loved her. I loved her in this movie. And you could see because Jackie Vicky's character was sort of mild and she was mostly acting off of what Mamito was doing. But yeah, you could see it. Even her, she was like, yeah, this girl is crazy. So that's how good the movie was. The music was good. I can't tell you what played where, but I remember the last song because they danced to it and it had words. So yeah, the music was good. Yeah, they start at the beginning of the movie. They first show Nairobi, so they show the highway and everything. I don't know, all of those things and those tall buildings in West. They show that, and so the cinematography was good. And the direction was good. It is Tosh Kitonga. You know him. He has done a lot of good things and he does amazing. Yeah. I overall I'll give it 7 out of 10. Mostly because it wasn't like I don't know. I don't want to put them down or anything because I loved it and they're Kenyan, so of course I have to be there for them. But it wasn't like the best movie in Kenya. You know, it's among the best because we don't have a lot, but it wasn't like the best, the best, the best. It had its own faults. Like it was short, its dialogues and everything. Like they weren't the story wasn't supposed to be to me wasn't supposed to be so serious and all of these things. It was good basically, but I'll still give it a 7 out of 10. Like it's not the best in Kenya. I remember when it came out, people were like, oh, this is the best to come out of the 254, and I'm like, no, you haven't watched Makosa Ni Yangu. I haven't watched it either because I still don't have that 250 to watch it on on the Philip TV website, but I will surely, I hope that I'll get the money to be able to watch it. This August, September, October period. I hope that I'll be able to watch it before this year ends, actually, because another one is coming this year and I don't want to miss out on like a whole year of not watching it. But yeah, so I know it's better than this one. This one is good comically, I won't deny that. But yeah, you can't compare it with Nairobi Half-Life. You can't compare it with Click Click Bang. I know there are other amazing movies in Kenya. You can't even compare it with Nafsi. Because, yeah, this one, it was good, but it wasn't the best in Kenya. I think it was just maybe top 5 in comedy romcom. So, yeah, it was good, but yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. So you go watch it. Then come back and tell me in the comment section down below if you agree with me or if you don't. If you don't, it's okay. If you do, congratulations. We have the same brain. But yeah, one thing I can promise you is that you're going to laugh. You will laugh your head off. So if you haven't watched it again, go to Netflix and watch Inside Job by Tosh Gitonga. The main cast members are Jackie Vike, Mamito Eunice, and Elias Moshkwani. I hope that's how you say his name, by the way. So yeah, then come back, like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember to hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and watch, okay?